High Potential, Season 1. This might be my new favorite crime show. Wow. So, okay, sorry. I just finished the finale today. The season 1 finale. I'm excited to see where the show goes. ABC confirmed that there will be a season 2. I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what happens in season 2. Because, man, this was interesting. This was really interesting. Wow. So, okay. So, I'm gonna try not to be on the spoiler side of things, mainly because this is a relatively new show. I was kind of spoilery on the Schitt's Creek first time binge, but that was mainly because that was a older show, so I didn't really care if to me it didn't really matter if I did spoil it. It was 5 years ago. I think that now counts as old. Well, as far as like TV show or movie wise goes. But with this, the season 1 finale did end like almost a month ago, so it's still relatively new. So I'm not going to go on the spoiler side of things, but I will explain what the plot is, just so that way you guys understand. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. But yes, this show is about this single mom of 3, who's played by Kaitlin Olson, and she works as a cleaning lady in the police department. But she also is very smart. She has an IQ of 160, and she's what people call HPI, High Potential Intellectual. So she's very good with remembering stuff. She's very good at noticing certain details. She's very good with numbers, equations. Like, she's very smart. She's very smart. And the police lieutenant chief, who's played by Judy Reyes, she hires her as a consultant to help investigate crimes. All the while, Judy Reyes' character also helps her find details about someone in Kaitlin Olson's past. So, yeah. So, that's literally the gist of the plot. But, and then, so, this is a really interesting show. I think what really was interesting about this show, and I found this out, it was very interesting too, is that this show kind of legit reminds me of a more serious version of Psych. I know they both have different plots, but they kind of both remind me of Psych a bit. And, ironically enough, guess what? Had I not known about this, Andy Berman, who had, of course, produced Psych and written episodes for Psych, also produced this show and helped write episodes for this show. And, if that's not the only thing about that, James Roday, or now James Roday Rodriguez, who played Sean Spencer on Psych, directed 2 episodes of the show. One of them I wasn't really that keen on. The other I really loved, and that was the season finale. I think this is an interest. I thought this was a fun season finale. I thought this was fun, especially that cliffhanger. Man, I'm excited to see what happens in season 2. I'm excited where they're gonna go with this, cause man, this is gonna get interesting. Why is my eye bugging me? So yeah. But yeah. What's also really interesting to know about this show, too, is that this is actually a reboot of a show from France called HPI, High Potential Intellectual. But for some reason on Hulu, they call it HIP, High Intellectual Potential. I don't know why it's actually supposed to be called HPI, but on Hulu it's called HIP. No idea why they do that on Hulu, but oh well. And I was contemplating on whether or not I should see the original show. Maybe one of these days I will. I don't know. I mean, there is an English dub of it on Hulu, but I don't know. We'll see. And so, yeah, and I think the casting in the show is really, really good. Kaitlin Olson, of course, plays, Morgan, is the character's name. Daniel Sanjata, he plays, Morgan's partner, Detective Kardec. And then there's also Dennis Akdenas, who plays Agent Oz, and Javica Leslie, who plays Agent Daphne. And then, of course, what was it? Hold on. I'm looking at the cast list right now. And then, of course, Morgan's two kids are played by Amara J. and Matthew Lamb. Amara J. and Matthew Lamb, they're really good in this. Honestly. I think they're really good. They're really good child actors, and I think they'll do amazing as they get older. But, yeah. One cast member that really surprised me in this show is Judy Reyes, who in the show plays Detective Soto. Lieutenant Soto, I should say. I was really surprised at how good she is in this show. For those of you who don't know, I recognize her as... I honestly only know her for Nurse Carla Espinosa, who was Turk's wife on Scrubs. That's where I recognized her. So I was really surprised to see that she is actually really good at being a serious, acting really seriously in the show. I mean, she is a good actress. I mean, we all knew that, but I don't know. It was just really surprising to see that she and how versatile she was. But yeah. So there's that. There's a lot of cool... I love in this show, too, how fast-paced this show is. So, you know how most crime shows will sort of, be slow most of the times and will kind of drag out? Law and Order. Sorry. But, no, what can I say? I actually like SVU. I can't really say that badly about Law and Order. I really do enjoy SVU. This one's, very fast-paced. And I really like, too, that in this show, as Morgan is explaining these things and whatnot and what's happening, what the killer would have done, what the killer wouldn't have done, we see it played out in her mind. There's even an episode where we'll see, like, in her fantasy almost, that like she was in it, like when she's telling the story, we cut to her mind of where she's in the moment, and she explains how the killer would have killed said person, and it is so interesting. But I mean, yeah, I also really love how the show can blend. Like, it can be very funny. It can be Scrubs humor. It could be psych humor, but also be very dramatic too. It can be very good with when should we be silly, when should we be serious, and they really do a good job balancing that. There were a few episodes too. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, there's 2 episodes that really reminded me of NCIS episodes, and I do not know why. There's okay. All I'm going to say, and that's about it. I'm not going to spoil what the episode is about, but one episode reminds me of the NCIS Season 3 episode called Bait, and one of them reminds me of the NCIS pilot episode called Yankee White. That's all I'm gonna say. I think if you watch the show, and if you've seen NCIS, you'll probably know what I mean. And if you're an NCIS fan, you'll probably know what I mean. But yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think the show, oh my gosh, I'm honestly really enjoying the show. I'm very curious where they're going to go with this once they hit season 2. I feel like there's more points I wanted to mention about the show. But I mean, yeah, so it says that we are going to get season 2. But yeah, I think this is also one of the most strongest crime shows I have seen. I'm trying to think. I think this even is better than Psych. I think this is better than Psych. And it's tough because I love Psych. I love that show. In fact, I am planning to get that complete series box set soon. Because that's how much I love that show. But this might be even better. I think, and even the story is interesting too. Like, the story revolving around Morgan is the main character. Her, the person that was in her past. That's one storyline that really kept me intrigued and was interested to know what was going to happen. And it was really interesting to see what the next thing was. And the thing is that story with the person from her past, it hasn't ended. It hasn't ended. They're still expanding on that story. And yeah. But man, I think I really hope this show gets more stronger and more stronger, because this season was so well thought out, and this season's like only 13 episodes. It's only a 13 episode season, yet it is very thought out very well. It reminds me of, hold on a sec. It reminds me of how Touch Season 1 was well thought out. Because with this season, they really, with the first season of Touch, they really knew how to keep the story contained. So, by the time that they hit season 2 of Touch, they could continue that story. So, like, okay. I'm probably explaining this wrong. Once they, because it was really, because Touch is a very story-focused show. And so is High Potential in a little bit. And I think High Potential Season 1 is kind of similar to Touch Season 1. Because it is a very short season. Both Touch seasons are very short. Touch Season 1 had like 11 episodes. High Potential Season 1 has 13 episodes. Which is actually almost the same amount of episodes that a Touch season has. And yet, they kept the story for their season exactly how they wanted it to be. And, like, they kept their story for Season 1 focused. Even though it's such a short season. I wonder if, once they hit High Potential Season 2, I wonder if Season 2 is also going to be a short season, or if it's going to be a longer season, consisting of, like, 20-some episodes. Because, and I think it'll be fine, too, if they do have a shorter season. Because, man, I think this, because I think High Potential Season 1 proved that you could, like, especially Touch Season 1, they proved that you don't have to be, your story for your first season doesn't have to be, no. Even though you have such a short season, that doesn't mean that you can contain your story in one season. And I think, and I don't like short seasons. I really don't, because most of the times they really screw it up. I think NCIS Season 21 was not that great of a season. It really wasn't. And that was also because they had to deal with the strike. They had to deal with David McCallum's passing. It just wasn't great. And they had to keep their story contained in 10 episodes, which is a short NCIS season. It's the shortest ever. But with Touch and High Potential, they still managed to keep their story straight in their short season. And I love how you could do that. I'm probably not making any sense, but that's my best way of saying it. But, yeah. What else? I think also another interest, I think was really interesting too, is Morgan's sense of clothing. Most of the time, Morgan looks like she's stuck in the 90s. I don't know why. So, if you've seen this show, Morgan, the main character of the show, she'll have, like, very bright, colorful clothes and makeup. Like, and she'll have colorful nails, too. Like, sometimes she'll be in pink or green or blue, and it looks like she just escaped the 90s and like just teleported from the 90s and is entering the 2020s. I'm like, huh. But yeah, I think, and but yeah, so that was really interesting. I think the costume department for Morgan was really good. It, for some reason, Morgan almost reminded me of with how she dressed herself. She reminded me of Rita Skeeter from Harry Potter. She really did. She really reminded me of Rita Skeeter from Harry Potter. She was that journalist who would write the fake stories regarding Harry or Hagrid, and she was writing not so truthful stories during the Triwizard Tournament, when the tournament was going on. And how the style of clothing that Morgan wore in this show really reminded me of Rita Skeeter. I don't know if I'm the only one who sees that. I don't know. But I think the child actors, Amira J. and Matthew Lamb, they're very good in this show. They're honestly very funny. Whenever they appeared on the screen, I knew they were going to be funny. And I knew their interactions with Kaitlin Olson was going to be funny. But, yeah. And these characters are also very well written. And, like, that's another thing about this show. This show is a lot like NCIS, where their characters are so well written. We didn't really learn much about Daphne. I think Daphne was probably the only character we really didn't learn that much about, but we got to learn about Morgan. We got to learn about, what was his name? I always botch up his name. Hold on a sec. Karadek. I always think his name starts with an E, and I'm like, nope, that's not it. Karadek. I think Karadek is a very good character. Like you get to learn about Karadek. You get to learn about Morgan. You get to learn about Oz. You get to learn about Soto. You really don't get to learn much more about Daphne. I think that hopefully we get to learn more about her in the next season. But who knows? So yeah, I think this is a very good show. I think it's, there's, oh my god, this show's writing, and like these cases too. These cases are actually very good. I loved these cases. These cases, I even was going like, huh. Like, I was even trying to solve them in my own head, too. I'm like, huh, what was this? What was that? And the show is really great at surprising me. This show is really great at surprising me. Like, there's one case in particular, where I wasn't expecting one person to push someone into a laundry chute. That's all I'm going to say. There's one case where I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I think all 13 episodes of this are very good. I think this was a very fun show to watch. It's now up there with my new favorite crime shows. I think that so far my favorite crime shows are this, NCIS, and Psych. I'm debated whether or not I should count Touch in there. I mean, it's investigative, sure, but it's not. I don't know. And then an SVU comes at a close second too. But yeah, I really love this show. I'm excited for season 2 whenever that's gonna come out. Just the season cliffhanger alone. The season cliffhanger alone. You're gonna want more. Trust me, you are gonna want more. I want more, and I'm sad that I have to wait until August for the next season, or September, or whenever the fuck the next season's gonna come out. I really love the show. I'm so upset that I have to wait for season 2. I really don't want to wait. I want season 2 to come out now. I want season 2 because that cliffhanger. Oh my gosh. But that's it for my High Potential season 1 binge. My first time binge for High Potential season 1. Whenever season 2 comes out, I will wait until that season is done, and then we should do my first time binge for season 2. So, whenever season 2 gets completed, we'll do my first time binge for season 2. So that might be a while. It might be a year from now. But just know that season 2, my first time binge video, will happen. I promise you that. But yeah, I mean, I might binge the original show. I haven't decided. Should I watch the original? For those of you who has seen the original and liked it and liked this one, should I watch the original? Because I'm debating. I'm debating whether or not I should. I was thinking about doing that. I don't know. I mean, there is an English. I mean, I don't know. But we'll see. That's all I have for my video. I mean, yeah. What else was there? Yeah. So I don't know when my next first time binge video will be. I want to do more of these because these are really fun videos to do. But for right now, we'll see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below if I should watch the original show. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.